Hello, wonderful boys and girls, and welcome to Learning with Avant-garde Books. Today, we're going to learn about Shirley Chisholm, the 1972 candidate for U.S. President. Boys and girls, I would like you to get in a very comfortable place. Just get relaxed and listen and watch and learn about Shirley Chisholm. In the 1920s, the Caribbean suffered from widespread crop failure and food shortages. That led to massive migrations of people from the islands to the United States. Shirley Chisholm's mother, Ruby, and father, Charles, were part of that migration. Known to each other in Barbados, they reconnected and married in Brooklyn, New York. And that's where they made a home and had Shirley and her two sisters. Charles and Ruby worked hard to support their family, but money was still tight. The hours were long, and the northern winters were tough for them to get used to. So when Shirley was 3 years old, her parents sent her and her sisters to Barbados to live with their grandma. There, they could play outside all year round in the warm weather and get a great education. After more than 5 years, the family reunited. Shirley finished school in Brooklyn, where she was a good student and a natural-born leader. After graduating, she decided to pursue a career in teaching, one of the few professional paths available to black women in the 1940s. Working as a teacher, Shirley noticed that the school system often failed to provide the teachers textbooks and facilities that the students truly needed. It became clear to her that politics and money made the difference between a school that received support and a neglected one. She began to volunteer for political organizations like the League of Women Voters and her local Democratic Club in Brooklyn. Shirley loved volunteering, and her natural leadership ability was apparent to the women and men she worked with. Many women admired her for her courage and willingness to stand up for herself and speak out on behalf of others. For years, women have been doing much of the behind-the-scenes work for community organizations and political parties, while men took the leadership positions and were almost always the candidates running for office. Shirley rejected the notion that women were not meant to lead. Smart, capable, and passionate, she solved problems. She was a leader at work and in her community, so why not serve in government? First, Shirley ran for and was elected to the New York State Assembly, where she served from 1965 to 1968. Encouraged by her own achievements, she ran for the U.S. House of Representatives and won, a first for a black woman. At the time, there were only 11 women and only 11 black members of the House of Representatives and the Senate. In 1969, Shirley became the one and only black woman in Congress. She arrived in Washington, D.C. and hired an all-female staff. She then committed herself to addressing housing inequality, education, and the well-being of children by writing laws and creating programs to help the poor buy food. One of her successful initiatives was the expansion of the food stamp program. She said in a speech to two legislators, "Our children are jobless men, our deprived, rejected, and starving fellow citizens must come first." Shirley served for 7 straight terms in the House of Representatives, retiring in 1982. During this time, she took one big step forward and did something no woman or black man had ever done in politics. She ran for President of the United States as a majority party candidate. In 1972, she ran against a field of white men, including then Governor of Alabama, George Wallace, who was an admitted white supremacist. Shirley was bold in her statements. I am not the candidate of Black America, although I am black and proud. I am not the candidate of the women's movement of this country, although I am a woman. I am equally proud of that, she said when she announced her candidacy. Even though Shirley was great at her job and a talented campaigner, she had to deal with a lot of criticism and prejudice. She was criticized by white people because she was a black woman, and by black men who believed women were not suited to lead. Shirley said being a woman made her pursuit of politics more difficult than being black. She later observed, in the end, anti-black and anti-female and all forms of discrimination are equivalent to the same thing, anti-humanism. Sexism and racism weren't the only things wrong in American politics. Shirley knew that many people in Congress also participated in unethical practices such as exchanging money and gifts for votes and influence. So Shirley Chisholm made Unbossed and Unbought her campaign slogan to set herself apart as a leader who made decisions based on her principles. Shirley lost her bid to be the Democratic Party's nominee for president, but that did not diminish her lifetime of great accomplishments. She served as a mentor and teacher for new generations of women and men who were inspired by her to get involved in politics and continue her legacy of social change. Shirley Chisholm once said, I want history to remember me not just as the first black woman to be elected to Congress, not as the first black woman to have made a bid for the presidency of the United States, but as a black woman who lived in the 20th century and dared to be herself. I want to be remembered as a catalyst for change in America. Boys and girls, the passage that I just read about Shirley Chisholm came from the book A Black Woman Did That, 43, Boundary-Breaking, Far-Raising, World-Changing Women, written by Malaika, Adero, and illustrated by Chante. Thank you, boys and girls, for listening, watching, and learning with Avant-garde books. Have a beautiful day.